Presidency to sue National Assembly over 2017 budget, newspaper review. The newspapers for Monday, June 5, reports on the dispute between the executive and the National Assembly over alterations made in the 2017 budget among other issues. The President Muhammadu Buhari administration has resolved to approach the Supreme Court for interpretation of Section 80 of the 1999 Constitution, which grants the National Assembly the power to approve appropriated public funds. Presidency sources told This Day on Sunday, June 4, that the Buhari administration is determined to end the perennial disagreement over the extent of the power of the legislature to appropriate public funds and would be asking the highest court in the land to determine whether the National Assembly has the latitude to revise estimates proposed by the executive arm of government or not. The presidency has accused the National Assembly of distorting the 2017 budget under the excuse that it has the power to vary budget estimates presented to it by the executive for approval. Vanguard reports that the presidency and the leadership of the National Assembly have scheduled a meeting to sort out the gray areas in the 2017 budget. Sources in the presidency told the newspaper that the National Assembly had unilaterally introduced more than 400 strange projects into the budget before belatedly passing it last month. These illegal insertions into the budget presented to them by President Muhammadu Buhari last year, do not in any way indicate that they were done for purely altruistic reasons. From the look of things, it is clear to us that the projects were added for pecuniary and political reasons and they cannot help to advance the cause of the ordinary man in the society. How can state and local government projects that do not have designs and cost be inserted into a national budget by those who will still turn round tomorrow to blame the executive of non-implementation of the budget, if assented to by the president in the form it was transmitted? The source queried last night, a top presidency source said. Meanwhile, the ongoing saga between Governor Yahaya Bello and the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has deepened as the governor's name has reportedly disappeared from the voters' register. Governor Bello had been accused by the electoral body of double registration. The Nation reports that though Bello's name has been delisted, the Electoral Commission has a photograph showing how he was registered at the government house, Lokoja. INEC has reportedly raised an investigative committee to unravel the mystery surrounding the alleged double registration by the governor. Speaking on the issue, a source at INEC said, the INEC management has raised an investigative team to look at the controversy over the allegation of double registration by the governor. It is however curious that the investigation has assumed a new dimension. The commission has the photograph of the registration of the governor but his name is not on the list of the CVR for that day in question. The name has disappeared. Governor Bello has however denied registering twice. The governor on Friday, June 2, said his ghost might have been registered by INEC because he was away in Dubai when he was said to have registered again. Meanwhile, the Senate has raised concerns about the high interest rates on loans and has resolved to discuss the issue with the Central Bank of Nigeria and the deposit money banks. According to The Punch, Senate President Bukola Saraki in an interview with journalists at the Kwara State Capitol, on Sunday, June 4 said the bank owed a social responsibility to Nigerians. He said, in an interview with journalists in Ilorin, the Kwara State Capitol, on Sunday, June 4, the Senate President said, "They, banks, will tell you that they are doing business, but in doing business, there must be social responsibility." We must be able to sit down and look at ourselves eyeball to eyeball, and we intend to do that, and I can promise Nigerians that we can find a solution. Hopefully with the stability in the forex market, we will now begin to address the high interest rate. There is no business that can make money if it is trying to borrow at 28 or 29%. It cannot work, and if we cannot get the banks to lend to the real sector and they carry on their money to government instruments, there cannot be growth. So, we must tackle that. I can assure you that I will lead the challenge. We must sit down and discuss it. Meanwhile, the diversification agenda of the federal government may face some challenges caused by unstable oil prices. As a consequence, its dependence on oil revenue may linger, as expectations from the non-oil sector as a major economic driver may not be realized soon, according to The Guardian. Speaking on the issue, members of the Organized Private Sector, OPS, noted that the non-oil sector is currently heavily burdened with various taxes and levies amidst a challenging operating environment to be able to contribute profitably to government's expenditure plan. The Director General of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, LCCI, Mida Yusuf, noted that there is not so much revenue to generate from the non-oil sector. Mida Yusuf noted that the revenue performance of the agencies is very poor, with the bulk coming from the services sector due to low earnings from agriculture.